Hello everybody and welcome to SNUathletics.com for another edition of the Storm Report. I am Matt Shellenberger, joined by head coach Mike Cochran. Coach, you went to Henderson State last week, got beat. They're the best team in the conference. No shame in that. You got a home game this week though. How excited is everybody to finally come home and play a game?
We're pretty excited. This will be, well, over the last 13 games, we've been on the road 11 times. And I've got seniors in my program that have only been on that game field twice. So this is, it's nice to be home, especially for 2 weeks in a row.
The offense last week against Henderson State, looked at the numbers, really, played pretty well. 324 total yards of offense. Chris Hunter ran hard. Dylan Terry, 27 of 44, 223 yards passing. Offense played, fairly well.
Yeah, there's certainly some things that we can do better. We were really close on about 15 plays. We were one block away from it going the distance. That would have added a significant offensive output had we done that. So while we did some good things, we need to score more points.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about Ouachita Baptist this Saturday? They're a tough opponent. What are they going to bring?
They're going to be really strong defensively. And I mean, they performed well last year. They were 6-4, 4-4 in the conference. They were in every ball game, and they did it without their starting quarterback. He was hurt last year, so they'll be a very quality opponent.
Coach, what is the one thing that you want to see improved on the most from last week to this week? In each phase of the game, offensively, I would really like to see us just finish blocks so that some of those runs will get extra yards. We're really close to breaking some. Special teams wise, continue to improve in our kickoff coverage. That's always one of the things that as a head coach you get a little nervous about. And then defensively, mainly on our back end, our safety play, missed tackles were a major factor in that game. Absolutely. I want to talk a little bit about freshman Jonathan Martin. He had close to 100 kickoff return yards. True freshman. Can you talk a little bit about his play?
He did a good job. That's one of those things. If we execute very cleanly, he probably has 200 yards in kickoff returns. So there's some fine tuning that we need to do. We were really close on a couple of those, one block away on two that likely would have scored unless someone caught him from behind.
Chris Hunter, your starting running back this year, ran hard, had right around 3 yards a carry. Were you pleased with his play?
Yeah, I was pleased with his play and certainly would like to see that yards per carry be over 4.
All right, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with the Storm Report.
Rowing to victory requires expertise, accountability, and most of all, teamwork. That's why Kate has Tinker Federal Credit Union right there in the boat with her, helping ensure she crosses each financial finish line in first place, so she can focus on what's important. Getting a little more bling. TFCU. We get it.
Hello everybody and welcome back to SNUathletics.com, the Storm Report. I am Matt Shellenberger, joined by quarterback Dylan Terry. Dylan had a game last week, obviously, against Henderson State. You played pretty well, 223 yards through the air, 27 of 44. The offense, looked pretty well, 324 yards of total offense, as we were just talking to Coach Cochran about. Can you talk a little about the offensive play?
Last week we did some positive things, and we are just taking it day by day, and we're looking to improve on a couple things. For me, the turnover, had 1 interception. We don't need that. Also penalties, we can eliminate those. I believe we had 3. And as far as just being better in the red zone and on third down, those are 2 areas we really need to improve. And if we do that, we should have some positive things this week as well.
Talk a little bit about the opponent, Ouachita Baptist, this Saturday at 6. We were just talking to Coach Cochran. You guys have not played many home games in the past 2 years. You guys have traveled more than probably almost any team in the country. How excited are you to play in front of the home crowd?
We're very excited. We're just, I wouldn't say we've lost the feeling of what it's like to play, but we're just eager. We're ready to go, and it should be very exciting and just a good environment to play in.
Can we talk a little bit about the defensive side of the ball?
the defense, how can they transition to help you guys just a little bit more next week?
I think they just need to keep doing what they're doing. I know, have all the confidence in the world in them. The coaches, they're great. They're going to get them ready to go, and they'll be ready this week. And just need to keep doing what they're doing and just continue to work each day.
I want to talk a little bit about your receivers just a little bit. Jaquil Everhart, Jared Martin. You guys have a very good receiving core. You have for the past couple of years. How do you get on the same page with them every single season? Is it working in the off season? How do you keep that chemistry afloat?
I think a lot of it is in the off season, but it's just experience. I mean, you got to put in the time during the summer, during the off season, during the spring. The more you do it, of course, the better it's going to get. But a lot of the guys, they've been here a while. They know what Coach wants. They know what I like, and they're doing a great job right now.
We talked with Coach Cochran a little bit about Chris Hunter, new running back for the first time, in the past 3 or 4 years, starting running back at least. Mm-hmm. Does it change a little bit as a quarterback when you go from Derek Perkins, who's straight downhill, bruise it in the inside, to Chris Hunter, who's a little bit more, squirmy, can get out in space a little bit?
It does a little bit, but I enjoy turning around, handing it off, and watching him work. He's a great running back, and so is Derek. But they both bring, like you said, a different element to the game, and I just enjoy having him back there behind me.
All right, 6 o'clock this Saturday. Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll be right back on SNUathletics.com.
Being a frontwoman takes confidence, dedication, and more than a pinch of swagger. Lucky for Kim, she has Tinker Federal Credit Union on rhythm guitar. And with our mobile app helping keep her checking account in tune, she can focus on what's important. Nailing that next solo. TFCU. We get it.
Welcome back to the Storm Report. I am Matt Shellenberger, joined by head coach Mike Cochran. Coach, I want to transition a little bit into your mission trip you went on last summer. You went to Serbia. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Certainly. We've done for the past 3 summers, we've gone to places overseas and have put together a football camp in which the main purpose was to share the gospel. American football is really big in Europe right now, and it's gaining popularity. And these young men are passionate about that game, so that really opens the door for us to share our faith. And this last year it was in Kraljevo, Serbia, which is part of the old Yugoslavia, and we had a great response. We had about 30 to 35 young men accept Christ through those camps.
How cool or neat is it to go over to those countries and see how much football is growing? Because for years it's been soccer over there, basketball is growing. Now football is getting really popular. How neat is it to see that?
Oh, it's neat. I mean, like I said, they're very passionate and excited about the game. Fundamentally, they're not very strong. They have a ways to go because they haven't been playing it all that long. Football in Serbia has only been there for about 10 years. It's been longer in other parts of Europe, but a big part of that was not just the Cold War with Yugoslavia and lack of exposure to American football, but also then the Serbian-Bosnian War that was a factor, and so it's very young there, but they have quite a few teams playing the game.
So your main goal when you go over there is to not only share the gospel but also teach a little bit about football. How quickly do they catch on to the game? Well,
the football component gives us credibility with them when we share the gospel, so it's important that we do football well. They catch on fairly quickly because they don't have a lot of bad habits. They're so young in the game that everything you're teaching them is new. At this point, they've learned from maybe an American here or there that's been in their country, and the team we worked with has an American missionary that also played college football. But they've also learned from watching YouTube and from watching NFL games at 3 in the morning, because that's when, with the time difference, some of those games are shown. And so they're almost like a blank slate, and that really helps in terms of teaching the game.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, good luck this Saturday against Ouachita Baptist. That game is at 6 o'clock at home. The Storm finally get to come home and play a game in front of their home fans. Next week we will preview this week's game, so be sure to catch us next week on the Storm Report. Thanks, Coach, for joining us.
All right. Thank you.